What's up, all you? Just released the Black Widow already, dudes and dudettes. Toyshiz here, and I am back yet again to give you guys another fresh look, courtesy of my friends over at Diamond Select. And today, we are totally checking out their brand new Marvel Select, the Black Widow movie's Taskmaster action figure. A brand new figure that will be hitting stores relatively soon, and we got an early look at the figure. It's very, very cool to check it out. Black Widow, of course, we don't know much still about this movie. There are rumors, there are hints, there are things about this character that we may think we know. Who knows? But I have to purely judge this in the fact of I don't know anything. But here's the bio on the back if you want to go ahead and screen grab that. Here is the barcode as well. This is interesting to me because, again, Black Widow movie still hasn't come out. What a year, right? But this will be fun. We'll check out a new figure, a new villain, potentially for your MCU collector shelf. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of espionage coffee. This is a look at the brand new Diamond Select Marvel Select Taskmaster action figure. And here's old Tasky the Taskmaster out of the packaging, and you do get a number of accessories as well, and it's very nice to see, all of which fit nicely, look nicely, a little bit different from the Marvel Legends figure in some aspects, which we will also compare later on in this video. I do like the sculpt on this figure. It has a couple wonky joints, we'll just say here and there, but I like the weapons. I like the accessories. You got extra hands, you got a giant shield bigger than the Marvel Legends one, and it just looks to be, which I'll show you in a second, it looks to be a little bit more on model to what we will be getting in the movie. Again, not much has been shown a lot about Taskmaster. We keep getting bits and pieces. We don't even really know the scale on this particular character. We're assuming, around that 6-foot height. This one will clock in around the 7-inch height. But yeah, it does look pretty dang good. It's painted nicely as well. Very tactical, very MCU movie, right? It's got all the different layers and the armor and everything else. Kind of looks like a snowboarder, to be quite honest with you, with skeleton mask. You do get head rotation, of course. Not really anything rocking back, but going forward, you get a little bit more, I'll just say. Not much overall. You got ball jointed shoulders. They'll go up, they'll go to the side. Nothing at the bicep, unfortunately, but you get the single jointed elbows, and they will spin as well. And of course, the wrists will spin and they will rock back and forth as well. Just keep in mind, it does become kind of stuck here and there. You might want to heat them up, do that thing where you don't want to snap anything, but nothing I fell into ran the risk of doing any of that. Ab crunch, not so much. Nothing at the waist. Double jointed knees, does have a thigh rotation, and does have some rocker at the ankles, up, down, left, right. Now, this is where the wonky joints kind of come in. It's kind of like the Marvel Legends Beast, the most recent one. Also, like some import figures where the legs will drop down to give you a little bit more articulation. It works, but it's a little bit wonky in kind of putting them back up into the body. I feel like on the left side figure, it'll go in better. It does swivel. It does look nice. You do kind of hit those side pockets from here and there. I would say just be careful. Over time, I could see those snapping. They're very hard plastic, but they're kind of brittle right around where it meets the belt pouch. The shield is actually a lot bigger than the Marvel Legends one, and I much rather like how it attaches. Now, you simply just pull off either of the hands, right? Slip it over the wrist gauntlet. You won't be able to slip it over any of the hands, just FYI. And then just put the hand back in. You can move it up, down. It does stay a little bit better the higher it is on the forearm. In terms of scaling to the figure itself, I just think a bigger shield works better. Now, you can compare the Marvel Legends, the smaller version, to this one, concept art to final design for the movie. If you get both of these figures, you kind of have that in between. Both look good, both work, but I just kind of like this bigger shield, especially when you have the sword. Now, this Taskmaster does come with 2 arrows for the bow. They are painted, whereas the Marvel Legends one was not. So it's nice to see a little bit added paint application, especially at the top of the arrows. It just kind of breaks it up a little bit better. It makes it look more like arrows. Comes with a number of hands. You got gripping hands. You got like the Black Panther sort of claw hands. And they all work within the figure. Nothing's loose. It does have paint on the back, right? It's got, again, that's where the updated designs. Smaller sword than the Marvel Legend one. Nice paint on both sides, but incredibly smaller. But this Taskmaster does hold it well. I just think that a larger sword actually looks better again. So bigger sword, bigger shield instead of small sword, big shield. You know what I mean? It's kind of all over the place. The bow is actually really nice as well, nicely painted. The grips on the hands can be a little bit tight. I got it in there and I left the hand as it is. That way you can just kind of just do it real fast. The line on the bow works nicely. You just simply slip it into the port for the hand, and bingo bango, you got yourself a nice Taskmaster holding all the weapons in a very believable way, especially when you have the arrow and the bow. Now, I think this is where it looks cool, it shines. It's not 100% perfect, but it's dang near close, and it works for me. I actually really like this. It actually works well. They have the shield on the forearm. You got him pulling back a bow, and it just looks really cool. The articulation is there. It's not souped up articulation, but it works for the context of this figure. Now, in putting it, let's say, with the Marvel Legends Black Widow figure, he towers over her, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, we don't know the exact scale, but it kind of looks cool. It looks very imposing with other figures, and for an MCU character, it's a little bit different, especially when looking at like Captain America. It just looks like, this looks like a burly dude that you're going to have to get into a fight with, right? And then you put him with other Marvel Legends. You know, you have Red Guardian, you have Spider-Man. It looks cool. They do work well together scale-wise because, one, I don't care if Taskmaster is bigger because we haven't seen the movie. Maybe the movie will change my mind. But at the same time, I just think it looks cool. Now, here it is compared with the Marvel Legends figure. As you can see, it's taller than that one. The Marvel Legends one's a little bit more compact. Marvel Select one is going to tower over it, of course, and the design is different. The Marvel Legends one looks a little bit more early concept art, whereas this one looks to be more spot on to what we will see for the final version. Now, depending on when they got the concept art, when the figures went into production, that's what you'll see. But as based on this, as the most accurate design that I can see so far, you can see the mask, you see like that cape sort of scarf over it. It looks perfect to this one. So that I can appreciate. That's actually kind of cool, but it kind of goes either way. If you get the Marvel Legends one or not, the bows are very different to one another. Like I said, the arrows, Marvel Select is painted. Marvel Legends is not. Marvel Legends has a much bigger sword, whereas the Marvel Select is smaller. Marvel Select has a larger shield. Marvel Legends has a smaller shield, but the same exact design, except when you flip it over. I'd much prefer the Marvel Select way of applying it because those clips break, and you know they do. The hands are painted more. They have more of a silver stripe gauntlet sort of thing on the back of the hand, so it's extra paint. I do like that. The Marvel Legends, you get one extra hand, but you get less paint. It's basically just the molded plastic. You do get a ton of accessories with either of them. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for in terms of Taskmaster. Having this one now and comparing it, I kind of like the Marvel Select one better. I can appreciate this Taskmaster, of course, the old Marvel Legends one. I should say old. It just came out this year. My God, this year. But I'm just saying, it kind of looks cooler to have a more imposing Taskmaster figure, and if you have both, you can kind of swap up the weapons and make it work, and it's kind of cool. You have a bigger sword with the Marvel Select, shield, the bow, the arrows. It works for either figure. It looks good. I think you'll be happy with either of them. If you have the Marvel Legends one, if you're really into Marvel Select, then I think this is a buy for you. If you already have the Legends one and you don't want another Taskmaster, no, then you don't need it. But if you never got the Legends one, I do recommend this guy. I think he's cool. I think he fits in well with Marvel Legends. He's a little bit taller, but that's okay because villains need to be imposing, burly. I like how all the weapons fit. The paint is excellent on this. The articulation is a little bit lacking here and there, especially for some people, but for me, I appreciate it. I like it. It works for what I want to do. I don't do crazy poses and everything, so the articulation is there to get the achieved poses to make it look like he's going into battle with Black Widow, Captain America, what have you. But I am curious to know what you guys think about this Taskmaster. Will you be grabbing him when he comes available? Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything Black Widow movie. And thank you again to Diamond Select for sending this over to give you guys this fresh look. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, wouldn't it be funny if we finally get to see the Black Widow movie and Taskmaster is barely in it? I'm talking like Captain Phasma level of barely in it, Boba Fett level. That would be funny. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.